All right, so get this. Elon Musk and Bitcoin,
Yeah.
it's like a match made in tech heaven
Yeah.
for a minute there, at
Yeah.
least.
It seemed like it.
Tesla buys a whole bunch of Bitcoin, says you can buy a car with it, and then suddenly, boom, it's over.
Yeah.
Environmental concerns, he says, about Bitcoin mining and crypto, just,
It went into a tailspin.
it's enough to make your head spin, right? Like what
was he thinking?
What was he really thinking?
Right.
Well, you've come to the right place, because that's exactly what we're going to unpack in this deep dive.
That's right.
We've got a stack of sources here,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, this goes way deeper than just the headlines.
Oh, yeah. It's fascinating how this seemingly simple story
Yeah,
has so many layers to it.
right.
On the surface, you've got the environmental angle, but then you start peeling back the layers and things get really interesting.
Okay, so let's start with the obvious. Bitcoin's energy use.
Right.
We all know it takes a lot of juice to run those mining operations.
Oh, yeah.
But just how much are we talking about?
Yeah. It's mind-boggling. We're talking like the energy consumption of a whole country.
Wow.
Think Egypt or Argentina.
Really?
These massive server farms crunching numbers day and night.
Yeah.
It's not exactly a walk in the park for Mother Nature.
No.
And here's the kicker. A lot of that electricity comes from fossil fuels,
Right.
adding to the whole, greenhouse gas problem.
So it's not just that it uses a lot of energy, it's the kind of energy that's the issue.
Exactly.
But hang on a second.
Yeah.
Musk is like a rocket scientist, right?
Yeah.
He's not new to the tech game.
Right.
He had to know all this back in February when Tesla made its big Bitcoin splash.
Uh-huh.
Why the sudden change of heart?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And honestly, there's no easy answer.
Right.
Some people say it's a classic case of market manipulation.
Oh.
Announce you're buying, the price shoots up, then you ditch it when it's high,
Uh-huh.
make a killing.
The good old pump and dump.
Right.
Except our sources point out that Tesla hasn't sold their Bitcoin yet.
Right.
So if that was the plan, it's not going so smoothly.
Yeah.
There has to be more to it than that.
Exactly. What if this is less about Bitcoin itself
Okay.
and more about Tesla's position in the larger clean energy landscape?
Interesting.
This is where things get really intriguing.
Okay.
And we need to talk about something called renewable energy certificates, or RECs.
RECs. Okay. Break it down for us.
Imagine like this. You've got car companies,
Uh-huh.
and they're under pressure to go green,
Right.
build electric vehicles, reduce emissions.
Mm.
Some are all in like Tesla.
Yeah.
They actually exceed those targets,
Right.
but others not so much.
Okay.
That's where RECs come in.
Right.
Companies that are exceeding their clean energy goals
Mm.
can sell these certificates, essentially credits,
Okay.
to those falling short.
I see.
It's a way for the laggards to offset their dirty deeds, so to speak.
So it's like a get-out-of-jail-free card for companies that aren't quite as green as they should be.
Exactly. And guess who's been raking it in selling these RECs? Tesla.
Really?
They've made a fortune off of this, hundreds of millions of dollars in pure profit.
Wow.
But here's the catch. As more traditional car makers jump on the electric bandwagon,
Uh-huh.
they need fewer of these RECs.
Right.
Tesla's golden goose might be drying up.
Less demand, less money.
Yeah.
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
But how does this tie back to Musk and his Bitcoin bombshell?
Well, let's add another piece to this puzzle.
Okay.
The White House and the EPA,
Okay.
they're looking into whether electric vehicles
Uh-huh.
could generate a whole new type of credit
Okay.
called renewable fuel credits, or RINs.
Rhines RECs. It's enough to make your head spin. What's the difference?
RINs are similar to RECs,
Okay.
but they've been focused on biofuels.
Uh-huh.
It's a system for oil refiners to meet their renewable fuel obligations.
Okay.
They can either blend biofuels into their gasoline or buy RINs from companies that produce those biofuels.
Okay, so it's like another type of green credit,
Right.
but for a different part of the energy sector.
Ex-
But what does this have to do with Tesla?
This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Tesla actually produces electricity from biogas.
Really?
And get this, they've already applied to the EPA
Wow.
to generate and sell RINs.
Wait, so if the EPA gives them the green light,
Yeah,
they could be looking at a whole new revenue stream, potentially billions of dollars.
exactly. Now imagine you're Elon Musk
Okay.
and you're looking at this potential gold mine.
Yeah.
How do you position Tesla to win over the EPA?
Maybe by making a big public statement about how much you care about the environment,
Maybe.
like, say, denouncing Bitcoin and its dirty energy habits.
Now you're catching on.
Okay.
Some say this whole Bitcoin saga is less about genuine environmental concern and more about Tesla playing the long game,
Right.
trying to curry favor with the EPA and secure that lucrative RIN approval.
So is this a case of a brilliant business tactic disguised as environmentalism?
It's hard to say for sure.
Or is Musk really that worried about Bitcoin's carbon footprint?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's hard to say.
it's hard to know. Right.
But one thing's for certain, this story goes way deeper than it appears on the surface.
We've got a lot more to unpack here, folks. Stick with us as we dig into the finer points of this fascinating story. Be right back. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're peeling back the layers of Elon Musk's Bitcoin breakup, and let me tell you, things are getting interesting.
Yeah.
We've got this theory that Musk's move might be tied to Tesla's push for a whole new type of green credit RINs, those things oil refiners use to meet renewable fuel targets. But now Tesla wants in on the action, which could mean a massive payday.
It's a fascinating theory, isn't it? And it makes you wonder if Musk's environmental concerns about Bitcoin might be a strategic play to make Tesla look squeaky clean in the eyes of the EPA.
Right, like he's saying, hey EPA, look at us, we're the good guys. We dumped Bitcoin because it's bad for the planet, and now we want to generate these clean RINs.
Right.
It's almost like a PR move to boost their image.
And it's a savvy move if that's the case. Public perception matters, especially when you're dealing with regulatory bodies like the EPA. There's a lot at stake here.
Yeah.
We're talking about potentially billions of dollars in revenue for Tesla if they get approved to sell RINs.
But is it really that simple? Can Musk's tweets and pronouncements really sway the EPA's decision?
Well, it's not a direct cause and effect relationship.
Right.
The EPA has its own processes and criteria for evaluating RIN applications,
Sure.
but public opinion and industry trends definitely play a role.
Yeah.
They can't operate in a vacuum.
Right. They have to consider the bigger picture. And let's be honest, Musk has a huge platform and a knack for grabbing headlines. When he speaks, people listen.
Exactly. He's a master of generating buzz and shaping the narrative.
Yeah.
And this whole Bitcoin episode plays right into a larger trend we're seeing. Companies facing increasing pressure to prove their green credentials. It's not just about doing the right thing anymore. It's about looking good to consumers and investors.
That's like sustainability has become a competitive advantage.
Right.
Companies are realizing that being green can boost their brand image and even impact their bottom line.
Absolutely. And Tesla, with its focus on electric vehicles and clean energy solutions, is already ahead of the curve in many ways.
Oh.
But this RIN opportunity could take them to a whole new level.
Okay, so let's say this theory is correct. And Musk's Bitcoin move was a strategic play for RINs. Does that mean his environmental concerns are completely bogus? Is this all just a charade?
Not necessarily. I think it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
It's possible to have genuine concern for the environment and also be a shrewd business person.
Right.
Those two things aren't mutually exclusive.
So he could be genuinely worried about Bitcoin's carbon footprint. A&D see an opportunity to benefit Tesla financially by distancing themselves from it.
Exactly. It's like a win-win for him.
Yeah.
He gets to position Tesla as a leader in sustainability, potentially secure a lucrative new revenue stream, and maybe even nudge the world towards cleaner energy solutions in the process.
It's like a multi-level chess game, and Musk is playing 4 moves ahead.
Right.
But even if his motives are complex, it doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin's energy consumption is a legitimate concern.
Absolutely. That's an important point to remember. Regardless of Musk's intentions, the environmental impact of Bitcoin mining is a real issue that needs to be addressed.
And it raises some interesting questions about the future of cryptocurrency. Can it become more sustainable? Will we see a shift towards less energy-intensive mining methods?
Those are questions the industry is grappling with right now.
Yeah.
And as we move towards a more sustainable future, those questions are only going to become more pressing.
Okay, so we've got this complex interplay of environmental concerns, business strategy, regulatory maneuvering, and the future of cryptocurrency. It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
And we're just scratching the surface here.
Right.
There are so many layers to this story, and we're still piecing together the puzzle. But one thing's for sure, this is a prime example of how business, technology, and environmental issues are becoming increasingly intertwined.
It's a sign of the times, isn't it? We can't look at these things in isolation anymore. They're all connected.
And that's what makes this whole saga so fascinating to me. It's a microcosm of the larger challenges and opportunities we face as we navigate this transition towards a more sustainable future.
It's like a real-life case study in complexity with twists and turns that would make even the best thriller writer jealous.
Well said, and it's a reminder that things aren't always as they seem. There are often hidden agendas and deeper motivations at play.
It's a lesson in critical thinking and questioning assumptions and digging deeper to understand the full story.
Precisely, and that's what we try to do here at the Deep Dive. We take these complex issues, peel back the layers, and help you, the listener, make sense of it all.
We've explored the environmental concerns about Bitcoin, the potential financial incentives for Tesla, and the possibility that Musk is playing a strategic game to secure those lucrative RINs. But now we want to hear from you.
What do you think is the most likely explanation for Musk's actions? Was it genuine concern for the environment? A shrewd business tactic? A combination of both?
We're all about exploring different perspectives here. So share your thoughts with us on social media, and let's keep this conversation going.
We'll be right back after a short break to wrap up our deep dive and leave you with a final thought-provoking question to ponder. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Hmm.
We've been unraveling this whole mystery of Elon Musk's Bitcoin breakup,
Yeah.
examining those environmental concerns,
Yeah.
the potential, financial gains for Tesla, and that possibility of strategic maneuvering, within the regulatory landscape.
It's a story that really highlights that complex intersection
Yeah.
of business technology and sustainability,
Right.
with each element influencing the others in fascinating ways.
It's like watching a high-stakes poker game unfold,
Right.
where the players are holding their cards close to their chest and the stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah.
We may never know Musk's true motivations with absolute certainty, but that's part of what makes this whole thing so intriguing.
And it sparks a broader conversation about the role of corporations in a world grappling with climate change
Right.
and this urgent need for sustainable practices.
Exactly. It makes you wonder, is this a sign of things to come?
Yeah.
Will we see more companies making bold, seemingly controversial moves to bolster their green image and appeal to, increasingly environmentally conscious consumers?
Think about it. What if this becomes a trend?
Okay.
Companies distancing themselves from practices or technologies
Right.
perceived as unsustainable,
Yeah.
even if it means taking a financial hit in the short term.
Yeah.
Could this be the start of a new era of corporate environmentalism,
Interesting.
where sustainability becomes not just a talking point, but a core business strategy?
That's a thought-provoking question, and one that has significant implications for industries across the board.
For sure.
Imagine the ripple effect if companies in energy manufacturing, agriculture, and even tech start making, similar pronouncements and shifting their practices.
It could be a catalyst for innovation,
Yeah.
driving investment in cleaner technologies and more sustainable solutions.
Right.
And it could empower consumers to make more informed choices,
Yeah.
supporting companies that align with their values.
It's a fascinating possibility,
Yeah,
and one that we'll certainly be watching closely.
definitely.
It seems like Musk, intentionally or not, has ignited a conversation that goes far beyond Bitcoin.
This deep dive has shown us that the world is changing, and the relationship between business technology and the environment is evolving rapidly. It's a time of both challenges and opportunities.
Right.
And it's crucial to stay informed, ask questions, and think critically about the forces shaping our future.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we leave you with a final thought. What kind of future do you want to see?
Yeah.
And what role do you think companies should play in creating that future?
Keep those questions in mind as you navigate this complex landscape.
Okay.
And remember, the choices we make today will have a lasting impact on the world we create tomorrow.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of Elon Musk, Bitcoin, and the future of sustainability. We'll be back soon with more explorations into the topics that matter most. Until then, stay curious.